Θες να το δείτε? Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The day that many of us have been waiting for some time now has finally arrived. My name is Charis Theocharis-Sotiriou, and in my capacity as the coordinator of RISE, I'm delighted, excited, and honored to stand here today welcoming you all to the launch event of RISE, a new research center that promises to integrate academic research and industrial innovation and stimulate the scientific, technological, and economic growth of Cyprus and Europe at large. I would first like to thank and welcome His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. Nicosia, who has honored us with his presence today and has put this launching event under his auspices. I would also like to thank the Minister for Education and Culture, Professor Kostas Kadis, who is joining us also here today. A warm welcome to the Director General of the European Commission, DG Research and Innovation, Mr. Robert Jan Smith, and a special thanks for his continuous and enthusiastic support. A warm welcome also to the members of the Parliament who are here with us today, the Honourable Ambassador of the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Poland, Spain, Finland, Greece, Sweden, and Russia. Also, the rectors of the University of Cyprus, the Cyprus University of Technology, and the Open University of Cyprus, the Mayor of Nicosia, and of course, all of our distinguished guests and friends from Cyprus and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, today a vision shared by many individuals becomes a reality. The launching of RISE, a unique research center that focuses on interactive media, smart systems, and emerging technologies, a center that many of us have worked really hard to conceptualize, marks the beginning of a new era for the region and for Europe. Turning this vision into a reality was made possible because of the generous support of the European Union and the Horizon 2020 Teaming Action, and of the Republic of Cyprus. We are honored for the involvement of all our partners, our renowned international academic partners, the Max Planck Institute for Informatics in Germany, and University College London in the UK. Also, the three public universities of Cyprus, University of Cyprus, Cyprus University of Technology, Open University of Cyprus, and the Municipality of Nicosia. And of course, we are grateful to all our numerous supporters and all the stakeholders involved who believed in the vision of RISE from day one. Before I turn the floor for welcoming remarks, I would like to show a short video for RISE.
RISE, the research center on interactive media, smart systems, and emerging technologies. The first Cypriot research center focusing on scientific excellence and technology transfer. The speed and scale of expansion of our cities and our technology is astonishing. As we continue to expand our urban environment, we need to embrace technology even more to make our lives easier. By building smart cities and utilizing the possibilities of technology, we take one step closer to this goal. Nicosia, Cyprus. At the southeastern corner of Europe lies Nicosia, the vibrant capital city of Cyprus, successfully building on its strengths, confronting its ongoing division with amazing resilience and creativity. Rich with history and culture, Cyprus has become a regional hotspot for business and education. Situated at the core of the inner-walled city of Nicosia, RISE will act as a key pillar to the city's integrated development strategy and will foster both cutting-edge research and technology transfer.
Our plan is to create a research and innovation center in the heart of our historic city. And that's because we want to create more jobs by stimulating innovation and creative thought.
Furthering its ambition of becoming a regional technology and innovation hub, the municipality of Nicosia has teamed up with the three public universities, the University of Cyprus, the Cyprus University of Technology, and the Open University Cyprus.
RISE is unique in many ways. It goes out of the confines of a campus to push closer research, industry, startups, and the community as a whole.
RISE will perform research in the fields of visual sciences, such as computer graphics, vision, virtual reality, and imaging, will be supported by communications and artificial artificial intelligence and take into consideration principles of human-computer interaction and design.
Its focus provides opportunities for novel research results, and at the same time, it can enable advances in key priority areas of the country.
This is a unique opportunity to build bridges between academia and industry, between research and innovation, between science and technology. And we need to exploit this opportunity to the fullest extent.
The three Cypriot universities, together with the University College London in the UK and the Max Planck Institute in Germany, are jointly architecturing RISE, the Research Centre in Interactive Media, Smart Systems and Emerging Technologies.
We are very excited to do world-class research. We look forward to doing the actual work of the centre, doing some new areas for us and some new application areas. So I'm looking forward to the actual hard work later on doing research.
We strongly believe in the idea of fostering excellent research, but also thinking of business cases, making out of those research cases.
RISE will strive to become the aperture for technology and innovation exchange between Cyprus and other European and international stakeholders. With its 5 strong academic backers and a committed local authority, RISE invites scientists and entrepreneurs to come join our effort to reinvent Cyprus as a regional technology and innovation European hub. RISE will not only conduct research, but will focus on technology transfer activities to provide the much-needed scientific know-how to small businesses. RISE is the first centre of excellence in Cyprus with a clear proposition. Based on a solid scientific foundation, we will create and innovate with a firm commitment to igniting true change for Cyprus and Europe.
I would like now to ask the Mayor of Nicosia, Mr. Konstantinos Orkazios, to the podium to deliver his welcome remarks.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, distinguished guests, approximately 3 years ago, in 2015, a handful of people had a crazy idea. They wanted to create a research center in interactive media to compete for its funding with other more experienced European countries and place it, house it, next to the buffer zone. Against all odds, 3 years down the road, and after a lot of hard work, they actually managed to transform this pioneering idea into a feasible, viable business plan that made sense and is implementable. Their idea is being launched here today. RISE, the Research Centre on Interactive Media, Smart Systems and Emerging Technologies. I would like to extend our wholehearted appreciation to all of the people of Team RISE, to all of our 3 state universities that are taking part, to our partners from abroad, the Max Planck Institute, the University College of London, and to all the government departments, public institutions, companies, and organizations that supported us from the beginning. Thank you all. Of course, all of our efforts would have amounted to 0 if some very important people did not trust us. Therefore, I would like to thank the Directorate General for Research and Innovation of the EU, its head, present here today, Mr. Robert Jan Smits, and commissioners, of course, Carlos Moedas, for their decision to fund the creation of RISE, and of course, the government of Cyprus, thank you, Mr. President, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Haris Georgiadis, and the head of the Directorate General for European Programs, Coordination and Development, Mr. Yorgos Georgiou. Special thanks also to Ms. Androula Vassiliou. You have given us a tremendously large opportunity, but simultaneously, we perceive it as an important responsibility. We are called to prove that cities can make a difference, to show that local authorities are the best vehicle to efficiently disseminate programs on the ground, to show that cities, unlike countries, have an adaptability, a flexibility, and a pragmatism that allows the seemingly impossible to happen, to demonstrate that if given the right opportunity and the corresponding assistance, we can actually distribute the expected benefits to the largest number of people possible. Distinguished guests, why is RISE so important? Of course, other than to prove the indispensable role of local authorities in delivering programs efficiently to the public, or to promote knowledge and science through their ability to create synergies between different organizations, public and private. I feel that if any developed city is to have sustainable long-term future within the globalized world we live in today, where thousands of manufacturing jobs are being lost every year, we must focus on creating what Richard Florida calls the creative economy. This presupposes that a city can attract creative human capital. To do that, it must create an environment of trust where people feel free and unafraid to be themselves, however they choose to characterize themselves. Only when you feel unafraid to be yourself within the environment you live in can you think and express yourself freely and therefore create. In other words, the future economic sustainability of cities, and Europe for that matter, rest on generating creativity, which in turn rests on the city's ability and Europe's ability to create an environment and a culture that allows unafraid individuals to be themselves, despite differences in sex, age, skin, color, religion, or political beliefs, economic and social status, and sexual orientation. And why, you may ask, the future of Europe is directly linked with the well-being of its cities? Because, dear friends, distance may have indeed died, but place has not. The advances in communications and transportation have tremendously changed the way we do business today and all the different sums of the supply chain. But at the same time, we have come to realize that the creation process of ideas blossoms most often when people are able to freely intermix and exchange thoughts and ideas within clusters. These clusters are best developed within cities. Clusters, and therefore cities, are extremely important for our economic future, and if we want our future to be a long-term one, the development of our cities must be sustainable and inclusive to all. We must teach our youth to be curious and not suspicious of each other's differences. The creation of RISE, here next to the buffer zone, adjacent to the two creative industry neighborhoods, aims to do just that, to independently promote scientific research over politics, to create the potential, when circumstances allow, to open the crossing and bring the creative, startup, and innovation business community of the island together, to rejuvenate a deprived area and to show that proper planning allows combined funding. We're combining funding from funds from Horizon 2020, state funds, government funds, European structural funds, and municipal funds to create an unprecedented multiplier effect. Dear friends, we have a responsibility to create an environment of trust where diversity and freedom of expression are respected. We are to foster a culture that puts a premium on ideas, spreads education, and encourages productivity through creativity. We must, if anything else, teach our children and our youth that our independence as a nation depends on our interdependence as people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like now to turn the floor to the President of the Republic, Mr. Nicosia.
Φίλε Δήμαρχε, κύριοι Πριτάνης, Excellencies, διακεκριμένοι φίλες και φίλοι, είμαι ιδιαίτερα ευτυχής που βρίσκομαι μαζί σας στην εκδήλωση έναρξης του Κέντρου Αριστείας στην Έρευνα και Καινοτομία RISE. Παράλληλα, είναι ιδιαίτερα η τιμή που μου δίνεται η ευκαιρία να απευθυνθώ σε ένα τόσο εκλεκτό ακροατήριο που προέρχεται από την Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή, την ακαδημαϊκή κοινότητα από την Κύπρο, Γερμανία και Ηνωμένο Βασίλειο, την επιχειρηματική κοινότητα, καθώς και τον ραγδαία αναπτυσσόμενο τομέα των καινοτόμων και νεοφυών επιχειρήσεων. Καταρχάς, θα ήθελα να εκφράσω τα θερμά μου συγχαρητήρια στον Δήμαρχο και τα μέλη του Δημοτικού Συμβουλίου Λευκωσίας, στο Πανεπιστήμιο Κύπρου, στο Τεχνολογικό Πανεπιστήμιο Κύπρου, στο Ανοιχτό Πανεπιστήμιο και στους δύο παγκοσμίου φήμης εταίρους στο έργο, το Ινστιτούτο Max Planck for Informatics της Γερμανίας και το UCL, το University College of London. Θα ήθελα επίσης να εκφράσω τις ευχαριστίες μου στην Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή για την απόφασή τους να χρηματοδοτήσουν με 15 εκατομμύρια ευρώ μέσω του Ευρωπαϊκού Προγράμματος Ορίζοντας 2020, το RISE, επιπροσθέτως της απόφασης χρηματοδότησης του Κέντρου Αριστείας Κύος του Πανεπιστημίου Κύπρου. Είναι μεγάλη ικανοποίηση μας, κυρίες και κύριοι, και αυτή η απόδειξη του υψηλωτάτου επίπεδου της ακαδημαϊκής αλλά και ερευνητικής κοινότητας της Κύπρου, το ότι παρά την εξαιρετικά ανταγωνιστική διαδικασία σε ευρωπαϊκό επίπεδο, η Κύπρος κατάφερε να εξασφαλίσει χρηματοδότηση για την δημιουργία των δύο κέντρων αριστείας. Η κυβέρνηση, έχοντας πλήρη επίγνωση της δυναμικής του τομέα, της έρευνας και καινοτομίας και τις μεγάλες προοπτικές που δημιουργούνται για την Κύπρο μέσω της δημιουργίας κέντρων αριστείας, στήριξε και πολιτικά και οικονομικά τις κυπριακές προτάσεις. Συναφώς, και ως αποτέλεσμα της ιδιαίτερης σημασίας που προσδίδει το κράτος στην ανάπτυξη αυτού του τομέα, το Υπουργικό Συμβούλιο το 2015 αποφάσισε την παραχώρηση ισόποσης χρηματοδότησης από την Κυπριακή Δημοκρατία προς τα δύο κέντρα αριστείας ύψους 15 εκατομμυρίων δολαρίων. Με συγχωρείτε, ευρώ. Υποβάθμισα την εισφορά. Με τον τρόπο αυτό θα δοθεί η δυνατότητα στα δύο κέντρα να προσελκύουν επενδύσεις και να αναβαθμίσουν τις προοπτικές της Κύπρου για καινοτόμο έρευνα και επιχειρηματικότητα, δημιουργώντας παράλληλα πρόσθετες θέσεις εργασίας. Κυρίες και κύριοι εκλεκτοί φίλοι, είναι με πλήρη επίγνωση της δυναμικής του τομέα της έρευνας και καινοτομίας που επικεντρώνουμε τις δράσεις μας με απότερο σκοπό την διαφοροποίηση της οικονομίας μας και τη μετατροπή της Κύπρου σε περιφερειακό κέντρο εφαρμοσμένης γνώσης με πολλαπλά θετικά αποτελέσματα. Σε αυτό το πλαίσιο δημιουργούμε για πρώτη φορά το οικοσύστημα μέσα από το οποίο η έρευνα, η επιχειρηματικότητα, η δημιουργικότητα και η καινοτομία μπορούν να στηριχτούν και να αναπτυχθούν αξιοποιώντας το σημαντικότερο συγκριτικό μας πλεονέκτημα, το άρτια καταρτισμένο και εξειδικευμένο ανθρώπινο δυναμικό. Ως εκ τούτου, επιπρόσθετα, επενδύσαμε σε σύγχρονες ερευνητικές δομές που υπερβαίνουν τα 350 εκατομμύρια ευρώ στα πανεπιστημιακά μας ιδρύματα και το Ινστιτούτο Νευρολογίας και Γενετικής, ενώ για την ενίσχυση της πρόσβασης των κυπριακών επιχειρήσεων σε νέα κεφάλαια διευρύναμε τα χρηματοδοτικά προγράμματα της Ευρωπαϊκής Τράπεζας Επενδύσεων και πετύχαμε την δραστηριοποίηση της Ευρωπαϊκής Τράπεζας Ανασυγκρότησης και Ανάπτυξης στην Κύπρο. Πρόσθετα, πρέπει να πω ότι υλοποιούμε με επιτυχία ολοκληρωμένο πλαίσιο πολιτικής με συγκεκριμένες δράσεις και πολιτικές για την ενίσχυση του επιχειρηματικού οικοσυστήματος με έμφαση στην επιχειρηματική καινοτομία. Μέσα σε αυτά τα πλαίσια εισήξαμε πακέτο φορολογικών κινήτρων για επενδύσεις σε καινοτόμες επιχειρήσεις. Καταθέσαμε το θεσμικό πλαίσιο που επιτρέπει την μεταφορά της τεχνογνωσίας από τα δημόσια πανεπιστήμια στις επιχειρήσεις, τα λεγόμενα university spin-offs, προωθώντας την διασύνδεση της έρευνας με την παραγωγή και τον κόσμο της αγοράς. Θεσμοθετήσαμε το πρόγραμμα Startup Visas, παρέχοντας την δυνατότητα σε καινοτόμους επιχειρηματίες από μη ευρωπαϊκές χώρες να δραστηριοποιηθούν στη χώρα μας. Προωθήσαμε την πολιτική των ανοιχτών δεδομένων του δημοσίου, όπου 1000 και πλέον δεδομένα είναι διαθέσιμα για αξιοποίηση και χρήση, επιτυγχάνοντας πέραν από την διαφάνεια την δυνατότητα δημιουργίας νέων startups και καινοτόμων εφαρμογών. Πρόσθετα, καταθέσαμε στην Βουλή νομοσχέδιο για την δημιουργία Υφυπουργείου Ανάπτυξης, όπου τα θέματα έρευνας, καινοτομίας και επιχειρηματικότητας θα είναι κάτω από την ίδια στέγη, στοχεύοντας έτσι στην αποτελεσματικότερη διαμόρφωση μιας συνεκτικής στρατηγικής που θα εστιάζει στο τρίπτυχο έρευνας, καινοτομίας και επιχειρηματικότητας, συμβάλλοντας καθοριστικά στην πρόθεση του νέου αναπτυξιακού μοντέλου. Κυρίες και κύριοι, στόχος μας για το άμεσο μέλλον είναι να φτάσει η επένδυση στην έρευνα το 1,5% του ΑΕΠ, μέσα και από την υποδάβληση, ενθάρρυνση, αλλά και παροχή κινήτρων για ιδιωτικές επενδύσεις και προς τούτο, πέραν των όσων έχω αναφέρει, θα προωθήσουμε τις πιο κάτω προτάσεις. Την εισαγωγή ενός ολοκληρωμένου νομοθετικού πλαισίου που να διέπει όλα τα θέματα που αφορούν την έρευνα και την καινοτομία. Την θεσμοθέτηση του επικεφαλής επιστήμονα, Chief Scientist, στην βάση επιτυχημένων πρακτικών διεθνών προτύπων, έτσι ώστε η έρευνα και η τεχνολογική ανάπτυξη να συνδέονται αποτελεσματικότερα με τις λειτουργίες του δημοσίου και παράλληλα να επιτυγχάνεται επιτυχή συνέργεια του κράτους με τον ιδιωτικό τομέα. Ένα άλλο στοιχείο είναι η εισαγωγή μετρησίμων δικτών απόδοσης σε όλο το εύρος της ερευνητικής δραστηριότητας και των προγραμμάτων, σχεδίων που εφαρμόζονται με δημόσιες και ευρωπαϊκές δαπάνες, έτσι ώστε να υπάρξει αναδιανομή πόρων από μη αποδοτικές σε πιο παραγωγικές δραστηριότητες. Την απαλλαγή την ίδια ώρα από την υποχρέωση καταβολής ΦΠΑ για αγορά μηχανημάτων, μικροεξοπλισμού και υπηρεσιών, οι οποίες θα χρησιμοποιηθούν μόνο για έρευνα και ανάπτυξη καινοτόμων ιδεών. Τη στήριξη παράλληλα της δημιουργίας και ανάπτυξης νέων σχηματισμών για την παραγωγή καινοτομιών, όπως οι συστάδες επιχειρήσεων, τα clusters. Την υποστήριξη εναλλακτικών χρηματοδοτικών εργαλείων για πρόσβαση σε χρηματοδότηση, για παράδειγμα crowdfunding. Την περαιτέρω καλλιέργεια κουλτούρας επιχειρηματικότητας, μέσα από την προσθήκη σχετικών μαθημάτων στα σχολεία και στα ακαδημαϊκά προγράμματα, αλλά και περαιτέρω ενθάρρυνση των σχολείων για συμμετοχή σε διεθνή και ευρωπαϊκά εκπαιδευτικά προγράμματα καινοτομίας και επιχειρηματικότητας, όπως το Junior Achievement. Κυρίες και κύριοι, για την Κύπρο, μια μικρή χώρα σε ένα κρίσιμο γεωγραφικό σταυροδρόμι, η καινοτόμος γνώμηση είναι απαραίτητη για να διευρύνουμε ακόμη περισσότερο τους ορίζοντες μας. Ο ρόλος του Κέντρου Αριστείας στην έρευνα και την καινοτομία, το ΡΑΙΣ, θα είναι καθοριστικό στην υλοποίηση των στόχων μας για τη μετατροπή της Κύπρου σε περιφερειακό κέντρο εφαρμοσμένης γνώσης. Αισθάνομαι πραγματικά ιδιαίτερα ευτυχής που το ΡΑΙΣ φιλοξενείται στο κέντρο της Λευκωσίας, κάτι που συνάδει με την ευρύτερη στρατηγική για την ολοκληρωμένη βιώσιμη αστική ανάπτυξη του Δήμου και την αναζωογόνηση των περιοχών που γειτονιάζουν με την πράσινη γραμμή. Ταυτόχρονα, στην ίδια περιοχή δημιουργείται και η συνοικία δημιουργικών επιχειρήσεων για την στήριξη νεοφυών επιχειρήσεων, δημιουργώντας έτσι τις απαραίτητες συνέργειες που οδηγούν στην αναβάθμιση της καρδιάς της Λευκωσίας. Κυρίες και κύριοι, ολοκληρώνοντας, επιθυμώ να μεταφέρω για άλλη μια φορά την βαθιά μου εκτίμηση σε όλους όσους συνέδραμαν για την δημιουργία του ΡΑΙΣ και να ευχηθώ κάθε επιτυχία στο έργο σας. Φίλε Δήμαρχε, συγχαρητήρια.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will next ask the Director General of European Commission, DG Research and Innovation, Mr. Robert Jan-Smits, for his welcoming speech.
Dear President of the Republic of Cyprus, dear ministers, dear Mayor of the city of Nicosia, dear Mrs. Vasiliou, honorary guests, dear ambassadors, dear partners in the RISE project, dear colleagues from the European Commission, once again, dear friends, if you are awarded a teaming project, you belong to the very best of science and innovation in Europe. And we, at the European Commission, are proud of you, and we are willing to invest in you. Your project was selected through an open call for proposals, for which we received hundreds of proposals. And the selection took place on the basis of two criteria only: excellence and impact. Why? Because Europe can only compete with the rest of the world on the basis of excellence. And it is only through excellence that we can do groundbreaking work that can change the world and bring solutions to the societal challenges we are facing. The RISE teaming project has a number of features which makes it stand out and which makes it unique. First of all, RISE has been very much driven by a municipality, in this case the city of Nicosia, and here I want to pay special tribute to its mayor. Second, RISE fits into a well-defined regional strategy aimed at creating an inclusive innovation and creativity ecosystem inspired by humans and designed for humans. And third, RISE is a showcase of science diplomacy because it also aims at connecting the Greek and Turkish Cypriot communities, and as such uses science and innovation to create partnerships, respect and friendship on a beautiful island which has been for far too long been divided. But if I talk about what makes RISE unique, I should of course also mention its unique cooperation with the very best of European science innovation, embodied by the Max Planck Gesellschaft and University College London. Together with the University of Cyprus and the Cyprus Institute of Technology, you have a first-class consortium for which I would like to congratulate you. So today is not just a great day for Nicosia, it's not just a great day for Cyprus, it's a great day for Europe, for the European Union, and for European cooperation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We now have the opportunity to watch another short video for RISE.
Buffer zones are designed to protect us, but right from the start, they divide us. And over the years, they define us. As national borders are increasingly blurred by trade, communication and travel, our world seems to delve deeper into the complexities of political, socio-economic and cultural buffer zones. The complexity and far-reaching nature of current issues call for international cooperation in often highly politicized and culturally sensitive areas, where science, policy and politics meet. Half a century ago, a physical buffer zone split the city of Nicosia in two. Today, that buffer zone has become our way of life. The roadblocks that limit our physical movements have become the yes but that follows almost every proposal for change and progress. What's more, the concept of the buffer zone is all around us. In the abandonment of the city's historical centre, the haphazard, transient aesthetics of new builds, the disuse of public spaces. Even worse, the buffer zone now exists between us. It is the barrier of suspicion and ignorance that prevents us from reaching each other and inhibits cooperation and progress. Ultimately, the buffer zone has become our excuse, our shield, our way of explaining ourselves and our weaknesses, protecting us from taking responsibility, from assuming personal agency, from exploring new models of development. The buffer zone is within each and every one of us. We have lost faith in our ability to change things. We have become self-protective, fearful of change, of risk, of involvement. The buffer zone is fear itself. In a time of economic and cultural stagnation, civil alienation and intercommunal division, we are seeking to explore the massive potential of RISE, the first research centre in Cyprus focusing on interactive media, smart systems and emerging technologies. so that we can redefine our city from the ultimate buffer zone to an innovation hub, a model convergence zone of ideas, cultures, generations, and scientific pursuits. Our vision is to actively reshape the future of city life on all levels by empowering those who hold the future in their hands. Researchers, scientists, innovators, entrepreneurs, and especially the youth. To develop a research and innovation environment that nurtures, sustains, and rewards the flow of ideas and action. To encourage engagement with each other, with the natural and urban environment, with education, with the heritage of history, and with the scientific promise of future. To revitalize our existing infrastructure, repopulate it with new voices, ideas, and audiences, and use it as a bedrock of economic growth and development for the region. To develop a strong, internationally recognized scientific sector that develops and retains talent by empowering knowledge and promoting the values of innovation, sustainability, and entrepreneurship. To regenerate, as much as possible, the urban and natural areas of Nicosia around the buffer zone, and in doing so, stimulate further momentum towards change, civic pride, and engagement with our past, present, and future. Ultimately, we, who live with the ultimate buffer zone, and whose every step towards the future is weighed down by the detritus of the past, will use the momentum, the inherent inclusiveness, the political and semiological carte blanche of curiosity-driven scientific research to listen to each other, help, inspire, respect, and collaborate with each other. And in turn, we aspire to become a leading voice in the conversation Europe is having with itself and with its neighbors on the convergence of ideas, people, and resources for addressing global challenges, on making European research open to the world, and ensuring that science in Europe contributes as much to peace as it does to prosperity.
I would like to ask the scientific coordinator of RISE, Mr. Yorgos Chrysanthou, to come to the podium.
My slides. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, dear Director General of the Directorate General for Research and Innovation of the European Commission, distinguished guests and colleagues. We celebrate here today a big achievement, which is the culmination of a long and arduous, but at the same time exciting and creative journey. It took almost 3 years for a diverse group of people, many of whom are with us in the audience today, starting from a vague idea about a collaborative project to come to what we have today, a thorough and bold business plan approved by the Commission and given enough funding and support to really make an impact. So what is RISE? RISE is about doing research in interactive media. Interactive media is a way of technologies that allow interaction between the user and various devices. Think, for example, technologies such as virtual reality, computer games, applications on your mobile device, and Internet of Things and pervasive computing. So this kind of these kind of technologies are an integral part of our everyday life and industry, and they provide exciting opportunities for novel research. And in particular, they can facilitate advances in key areas of the Cypriot smart specialization, for example, like health, tourism, agriculture, and energy. Now, by their nature, problems in interactive media are multifaceted and require expertise and cut across different disciplines. That's why in RISE, we look at the problem in a holistic way so that we can provide complete solutions with real-world applicability always looking at the center, having the user at the center. So we brought together a multidisciplinary team with different backgrounds like computer science, design, psychology, multimedia, human factors, artificial intelligence. These are experts that have complementary expertise. They can create synergies, and they could not have been found in any one university today in Cyprus. So our initial teams in RISE will be formed by the academics of the 5 partner institutions. But the main body of the faculty in RISE will be employed within the center itself. So we plan to have about 120 people in a few years from now, helping with youth unemployment and preventing the brain drain. In fact, the aim is to create critical mass so that we can place the research center at the international scene. But RISE will be open to researchers from other academic institutions as well, beyond its founding partners. Our main criterion for collaboration will be just potential for excellence. But one of the main characteristics of RISE is that it looks way beyond pursuing academic excellence. One of the main goals is to bridge the gap between research and innovation and try to bring cultural change in youth. And for that reason, the center has been designed from the onset with that in mind. For example, the location, it comes into the center of town, closer to the applications area and the industry and the youth. Its organization structure, it has a full department dedicated to innovation where it will try to encourage the creation of spin-offs, collaboration with startups, services, technology transfers, and so on. And the building is an open space with research facilities accessible to the outside, a co-working space that will allow collaboration between the researchers within the center and innovators at large. And also the funding of the project comes at a very opportune time. In parallel to RISE, the city has started a number of initiatives, such as the creation of the Innovation and Creativity Quarters, that that the RISE will be the core of these quarters. It is forming its smart city strategy, intending to employ infrastructure across the city, along with the big infrastructure projects, and RISE will assist in that. And also, at the same time, we have some commendable government initiatives, as our president said earlier, both legal and financial incentives. So our vision is not just to do research within the confines of the building, but our research is to make the whole of Nicosia into a living lab and eventually help transforming it into a regional technology hub. So in conclusion, I would like to thank the Commission for coming up with the idea of the teaming calls, the government for their generous financial commitments, the 3 universities for working together and investing in us, looking at the long-term benefits, our international partners for believing in our vision and sharing their expertise, our sponsors and collaborators for their support, and the municipality and the mayor in particular for standing solidly behind us. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoro. Next, I would like to give the floor to the Deputy Head of the Computer Science Department of University College London, Professor Anthony Steed.
Can I shut this? Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, honoured guests, and my new colleagues in RISE. I'm very pleased to be here to represent University College London and to talk a little bit about what UCL and what I and my colleagues can hope to contribute to the centre over the next 7 years. So University College London is one of the UK's strongest universities and thus one of Europe's. It was founded in 1828 and to provide a higher education to those who were excluded otherwise in England. And in 1876, it was the first English university to admit women on an equal basis. So it is very proud of its diversity and its inclusivity and its position in London. So UCL consistently ranks in the top 20 of universities in the world. And we obviously pick the rankings that look best, and we're 7th at the moment in the QS World Rankings, and number 1 in the UK for research strength. But I want to emphasise that UCL has a programme. It has a plan, 2034, and global engagement is a key part of that plan. And in the words of one of our former Vice Provosts, Professor Sir John Tooke, who said that I profoundly believe that the successful academic institutions of the future will be those that can build the mutually beneficial collaborative networks and partnerships to answer the questions that no one institution, however prestigious, can answer alone. So UCL's global engagement strategy has 5 pillars. They, of course, include engaging with students from around the world, co-creating wise solutions to global challenges, increasing independent research capacity around the world, of which RISE is a key part, now a key part. We have a strong enterprise innovation and translational research emphasis, and we're also positioning ourselves as London's university to cooperate with similar institutions across the world. So engineering, where I am based, is one of 11 faculties at UCL. Our tagline is "Change the World." And a key aspect of that is the role of computing in many industries now. And it's no surprise that in London we are based very close to some of the world's biggest IT and tech companies. Within 1 kilometre of my office, you will find offices of Google, Facebook, Sony, and many others. So there's an excellent local environment for startups, networking, and meeting customers. That is our strategy at the moment inside engineering. We, of course, support startups from staff and students, but actually one of our main activities at the moment is supporting post-startups and getting them more advanced, getting them to meet customers, and because London is a great place to do that. So that is a facility that we have discussed in the planning of RISE, and we hope to provide access to facilities that we run, such as Idea London, where companies can come in and meet customers and other startups, other suppliers that they'll need. Finally, I want to say something about the research. I'm a computer scientist. I'm delighted to be working on the vision for this centre. So some of the ideas of research that RISE is exploiting, the ideas of augmented reality, the pervasive computing, have been bubbling under for 20 years. One of the first projects I worked on was a European programme called The Disappearing Computer. And that was a very long time ago now. But now we have the technology to implement those visions. So we are very excited to be bringing our expertise on computer graphics, virtual reality, my own group's now expertise, to collaborate with UCL. And partly we have been successful at UCL because we have these collaborative networks. And we have worked with everybody from theatre directors through to town planners. And RISE provides a new space for us to collaborate in, which can help us increase our research impact. So in sum, we hope that UCL's global vision, engineering's collaboration and entrepreneurship training, and computer science's expertise will help to make RISE a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I would like to ask the Startup and Portfolio Manager at the Max Planck Innovation, Max Planck Society, Dr. Florian Kischenhofer, I hope I said this correct, for his opening comments.
So, dear Your Excellencies, President of the Republic of Cyprus, the ministers, the mayor, the Director General of the European Commission, our partners, and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me the chance to say a few words here today as a representative of the Max Planck Society and as a representative of Max Planck Innovation, which is the technology transfer organization of Max Planck Society. We feel really honored to be selected to be part of this opportunity, to be part of this project here, and that we can give maybe a little bit of our expertise and experience to the project here. Innovation is maybe the hottest or the biggest topic of economic development nowadays. Thousands of consultants and researchers think about the most efficient way and most successful way to transfer the research results into products, to bring it to the market, to make it available to people. But the starting point of the technical innovation is usually the idea. So, and the idea nowadays often comes from research centers, and that's why it's, in our view, so important to build up excellent research centers from which we can grow ideas into innovations. Also, if the best technologies are not always the base of the economically most successful product. The older persons here in the room maybe remember the calculation system Lotus, which was, up to my feeling, much better than Excel, but it failed. But a deep understanding of the mechanism of the things you're working with is helpful to overcome the existing technology-based hurdles of innovations which are already in the market. So while the researchers of RISE will solve the research question, hopefully, we as Max Planck Innovation can contribute our experience in technology transfer to bring these research results really to the market. So one success example which we were involved in the past, or in the near past to be honest, is the example of the company Bottle Labs, which was created out of the Max Planck Institute in Tübingen. It was a company based in New York City, which had a software where you could create an avatar of yourself. You just took 2 or 3 pictures of yourself, and then there was a very huge database with body models behind it, and so you could create very easily an avatar of yourself, and you could modulate it. The work or the outcome was so realistic and so good that Amazon just acquired the company this summer, and Amazon also decided to open up an own research space in Tübingen next to the institute. So the research result might open even new markets or might help to unfold a huge range of possibilities. So like the startup of Stanford, Google did. But sometimes the results are just a little piece of the puzzle. But this piece is needed to make systems run. So our commercially most successful technology until nowadays is a software which enables MRTs to make fast pictures. So MRTs became usable for hospitals. And the technology development developed to one of the most successful diagnostic tools in the modern industry of the medicine. So from the social standpoint, a research center does provide new solutions to society, but it also educates young people to become experts in certain fields. And not all graduates want and can stay in the research sector. So these young people are leaving the system, the research system, and they're looking for new opportunities for their life. Some might join big companies, which is fine, but others might also want to fulfill their own dreams, take responsibility, and develop the best technologies in their field to own products in their maybe own companies. So they might found their own companies, grow it, and the place where it all happens might become attractive also for bigger players to create a network of different sized firms. And this is maybe the thing which we hope to see here in a few years. So to create such a place of technology-based innovation, high-level research is often the starting point for the first companies. But a research center is mostly not the place where entrepreneurial behavior is trained. If a PhD student at Max Planck needs a few more months to publish an excellent research result in an excellent journal, there is the money to finance this position. And it's good, because excellent basic research is not really planable. But the manager of a small firm cannot lead a firm like that, otherwise it might be bankrupt during the first month. So some of our entrepreneurs are natural talents, but most of them need support, advice, and help. They can be trained and educated in these topics, which are not in the field of research. So, at this program, I like the idea of creating an excellent research cluster next door to an incubator and hopefully also next door to investors which are involved into the projects right from the beginning. So the communication between researchers, entrepreneurs, and maybe the investors are key to create an innovative space where research results are developed into innovations. And this might be key to solve the question how a basic research institution, which costs a lot of taxpayers' money in the first run, can also be an investment in the future development of a region. And also, we do not see ourselves or our involvement here in this project as a one-way road. We have to rethink ourselves on a permanent basis. New research centers like RISE have the opportunity to create innovation and also innovation processes right from the scratch. So we are looking to this place to monitor and to learn. So hopefully, we will come back to celebrate the 20th anniversary of RISE Center in 20 years, and we'll look back on excellent research, a growing cluster of firms which are delivering innovative products to the markets. So I wish you good luck in doing that and a good future. Thank you.
I will next turn the floor to the Rector of the University of Cyprus, Professor Konstantinos Christofidis.
Καλημέρα σε όλους. Κύριε Υπουργέ, η Γενική Διευθυντή της Έρευνας και Καινοτομίας της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής, κύριε Δήμαρχε, μέλη της Βουλής των Αντιπροσώπων, αγαπητοί εταίροι, dear ambassadors, εκλεκτοί προσκεκλημένοι, κυρίες και κύριοι, αγαπητές φοιτήτριες, αγαπητοί φοιτητές. Συναντιόμαστε για να γιορτάσουμε σήμερα μια ακόμη μέρα σταθμό για την έρευνα και την καινοτομία στην Κύπρο. Για να πούμε ένα μεγάλο μπράβο στους ανθρώπους μας, τους συναδέλφους, τους ερευνητές και στην ομάδα που με συλλογική και ομαδική προσπάθεια κατάφερε να εξασφαλίσει μια από τις σημαντικότερες χρηματοδοτήσεις για την έρευνα στο πλαίσιο μιας ιδιαίτερας ανταγωνιστικής διαδικασίας της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής και του στρατηγικού προγράμματος TIMI. Η έρευνα και η καινοτομία οδηγούν στην ανάπτυξη και στην άλλη Κύπρο, που όλοι οραματιζόμαστε. Το έργο RISE αποτελεί απόδειξη της αποτελεσματικότητας της ομαδικής προσπάθειας. Πρόκειται για μια συνέργεια του Πανεπιστημίου Κύπρου, του Δήμου Λευκωσίας, του Τεχνολογικού Πανεπιστημίου, του Ανοιχτού Πανεπιστημίου, του Max Planck, του Ινστιτούτου, του University College, του Ηνωμένου Βασιλείου, που θα ανανεώσει την κουλτούρα του κέντρου της Λευκωσίας. Το RISE συμπληρώνει τις προγραμματισμένες δραστηριότητες του Πανεπιστημίου Κύπρου, αλλά και της Λευκωσίας, για τη δημιουργία ενός οικοσυστήματος καινοτομίας στην καρδιά της πόλης, παρέχοντας μια σταθερή επιστημονική βάση, η οποία θα ενθαρρύνει τις νέες τεχνολογίες και τις επιχειρήσεις. Το έργο αναμένεται να παρέχει τεχνογνωσία σε τομείς αιχμής, πρόσβαση σε εξειδικευμένα εργαστήρια πλήρως εξοπλισμένα, ένα ανοιχτό προσβάσιμο χώρο, όπου θα διευκολύνεται η ανταλλαγή ιδεών και η συνεργασία μεταξύ των ερευνητών και της υπόλοιπης κοινωνίας, και εκθεσιακό χώρο, καθώς και science café, όπου θα παρουσιάζεται η σχετική έρευνα του κέντρου και των εταίρων. Βασικός στόχος του έργου είναι η διάδραση. Η τεχνολογία δηλαδή έρχεται να αγκαλιάσει την κοινωνία, βγαίνοντας έξω από το εργαστήριο, επιδιώκοντας να προβλέψει τη συμπεριφορά των χρηστών και να δημιουργήσει έτσι εφαρμογές που να ικανοποιούν τις προσδοκίες τους. Ένας από τους πιο σημαντικούς στόχους του έργου είναι η αλλαγή της κουλτούρας στους νέους. Βλέπετε, ο αναλφαβητισμός στον 21ο αιώνα δεν έχει πλέον σχέση με τον γραμματικό αναλφαβητισμό, αλλά με τον ψηφιακό και ηλεκτρονικό αναλφαβητισμό. Το RISE αποτελεί ένα πραγματικό εργαλείο καταπολέμησης του ψηφιακού αναλφαβητισμού. Το RISE είναι σημείο συνάντησης επιστημών και επιστημόνων, σημείο συνάντησης των scholar και των scientist, σημείο συνάντησης όλων των νέων ανθρώπων του τόπου μας. Τονίζεται μέσα από το έργο η δύναμη και η δυναμική της τεχνολογίας και του ψηφιακού κόσμου. Ενός κόσμου όπου όλοι και όλα συναντιόνται. Τα διάφορα επιστημονικά πεδία δεν ταξιδεύουν πια παράλληλα. Διαλέγονται, εξελίσσονται και χάρη στην αλληλεπίδρασή τους δημιουργούν μια υπέροχη σύνθεση που μόνο ωφέλιμη μπορεί να είναι για τον τόπο. Θέλω να συγχαρώ όλους τους συνεργάτες μας στην προσπάθεια αυτή, τον Δήμο Λευκωσίας, τα κρατικά ή μάλλον τα δημόσια πανεπιστήμια και τους ξένους εταίρους μας. Είμαστε επίσης περήφανοι που με τη μετατροπή του ΚΙΟΣ σε κέντρο αριστείας, κάτω από την ίδια ευρωπαϊκή δράση, έρχεται και το RISE. Το ΚΙΟΣ πρόκειται σύντομα να πλησιάσει τους 200 νέους ερευνητές. 200 νέα παιδιά εργάζονται σήμερα σε αυτό το μεγάλο κέντρο. Το Πανεπιστήμιο Κύπρου, επίσης, τις τελευταίες μέρες, έχει εξασφαλίσει ένα καινούριο ERC ύψους 1,5 εκατομμυρίου ευρώ για έρευνα σε σχέση με τον αυτισμό. Πρόκειται για το 15ο ERC που έρχεται στην Κύπρο. Και είμαστε περήφανοι γιατί 11 από αυτά είναι στο Πανεπιστήμιο Κύπρου. Κάθε φορά που ακούω κάποιους να ονειρεύονται μεγάλα κοιτάσματα φυσικού αερίου και πετρελαίου για να λύσουμε τα προβλήματά μας, με πιάνει έντονη απελπισία. Κανένα κοίτασμα πετρελαίου, κανένα κοίτασμα φυσικού αερίου δεν θα μπορέσει ποτέ να αντικαταστήσει την ευφυΐα, την φαντασία και την εφευρετικότητα των νέων ανθρώπων του τόπου μας. Επιτρέψτε μου όμως να σταθώ σε ένα ξεχωριστό άνθρωπο, γιατί πίσω από τις μεγάλες επιτυχίες υπάρχουν οι άνθρωποι. Σε ένα ξεχωριστό επιστήμονα, τον αναπληρωτή καθηγητή του Τμήματος Πληροφορικής του Πανεπιστημίου Κύπρου και επιστημονικό συντονιστή του RISE, Γιώργο Χρυσάνθου. Έναν από τους πιο βασικούς εμπνευστές αυτής της ιδέας. Γιώργο, μπράβο σας. Οραματιστήκατε, δουλέψατε, σχεδιάσατε και τα αποτελέσματα αυτής της προσπάθειας γίνονται σήμερα πραγματικότητα. Θέλω να επαναλάβω ότι το μέγεθος μιας χώρας δεν εξαρτάται από το μέγεθος του πληθυσμού της, ούτε από το γεωγραφικό της μέγεθος. Το μέγεθος μιας χώρας εξαρτάται από το μέγεθος των μυαλών των νέων ανθρώπων της. Στο πρόγραμμα Teaming, η Κύπρος υποφελείται εκατονταπλάσια από το μέγεθός της. Έχουμε ξεπεράσει πολλές από τις νέες μεγάλες χώρες της Ευρώπης, όπως την Πολωνία, την Ουγγαρία και την Τσεχία. Ή να το πω πιο σωστά, κύριε Director, είμαστε οι πρώτοι. Αλλάζουμε λοιπόν τη Λευκωσία, αλλάζουμε τη χώρα. Προτείνουμε στην πολιτεία και κατ' επέκταση στην κοινωνία ένα καινούργιο ενάρετο κύκλο ανάπτυξης, όπου οι νέοι και οι ερευνητές δημιουργούν νέες θέσεις εργασίας και αυτοί με τη σειρά τους εργοδοτούν νέους απόφοιτους. Πρόκειται για θέσεις που θα δημιουργήσουν αξία και επιχειρήσεις που θα δημιουργούν υπεραξία. Αυτός είναι ο πραγματικός χρυσός της χώρας μας. Κλείνοντας, θα επαναλάβω τα λόγια κάποιου μεγάλου Κύπριου που ζούσε μερικά μέτρα πιο κάτω από εδώ, του μεγάλου μας ζωγράφου Αδαμάντιου Διαμαντή. Ό,τι έκαναν οι άλλοι με 100, ο κόσμος αυτός το έκαμε με 5, με 10. Το έκαμε με σπλέρια και ολοκληρωμένα. Καλή αρχή λοιπόν στο RISE. Εσείς είστε η άλλη Κύπρος που ονειρευόμαστε. Σας ευχαριστώ.
Thank you, Professor Christofidis. I would like to ask the Rector of Cyprus University of Technology, Professor Andreas Anagiotos, for his remarks.
Dear Director General for Research and Innovation, distinguished guests and colleagues from Cyprus and abroad, It is with great pleasure that I salute and extend a warm welcome on behalf of the Cyprus University of Technology at the kickoff meeting of the second stage of our successful RISE project. I'm here to express my strong support to the coordinating team and all the partners. The project envisions the implementation of a research center on interactive media, smart systems and emerging technologies, RISE in short. The RISE project aims to contribute to the transformation of Cyprus into a global hub in smart systems and interactive media through multidisciplinary expertise, technological innovation and entrepreneurship. In this promising project, we're very pleased to have among us distinguished colleagues and partners from key local public academic institutions, public organizations, research institutes, and the industry sector in Cyprus and abroad who supported the successful application of the project in the Horizon 2020 framework for research and innovation. Dear colleagues, we want to express our sincere thanks for your contribution to the successful outcome of this project. The Cyprus University of Technology is very proud to be a part of this effort and have a substantial contribution with its know-how. Our university is committed to the funding of the project with significant cash contribution as well as an in-kind contribution. The project's aims to have great impact through excellence in research and innovation are aligned with the vision of our institution to promote excellence in research and innovation and acquire international recognition. Our recent international ranking in the Times Higher Education World University Rankings in 2018, in the top position among the local institutions in Cyprus and between the 350 and 400 best universities in the world, is a vindication of our relentless efforts to implement our vision. We want to thank the European Commission for all the calls aiming at reducing disparities in performance in research and innovation among its member states, and especially the current call spreading excellence and widening participation. Cyprus as a country, and our university in particular, have been very active participants in these calls. I want to mention that in addition to the current project that has been successful in the second phase, our university currently participates in three other phase one teaming projects. And I note that two of these projects that are coordinated by our university, namely the projects MedStack and Excelsior, were ranked in the highest two positions in the overall evaluations at the pan-European level with full marks in their evaluation. We hope these projects and the other projects from Cyprus are successful in the second phase, and we're confident that all these efforts will boost our country's performance in research and expand its innovation ecosystem. Before closing, I would like to thank the European Commission for funding this project and the Republic of Cyprus for its support through co-funding provided by the Directorate General for European Programmes, Coordination and Development. Moreover, I would like to thank all the partners of the consortium, especially the coordinator, the municipality of Nicosia, and our renowned partners, Max Planck's Institute for Informatics in Germany and the University College London in the UK, for making this proposal a success in a collective effort with the local public universities. Last but not least, I would like to express my sincere thanks and congratulations to the research team from the Cyprus University of Technology, the principal investigator and the deputy scientific coordinator of the RISE project, Assistant Professor Despina Michail Grigoriou, Professor and Dean Andreas Lanidis, and the other members of the team, Professor Zafiris, Professor Andri Ioannou, and Professor Theopisti Stylianou Lambert. They all contributed to the greatest possible extent from the conception of the initial idea up to the current implementation stage of the project through hard and continuous work in all the areas of this multidisciplinary effort. I wish success to all the members of the consortium, and I reiterate that the Cyprus University of Technology is committed to provide its strong, unquestionable, and continuous support to ensure the successful implementation of this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Anamagedos. I would like to ask Mr. Haralbolos Brountzos, member of the Governing Board of the Open University of Cyprus, for his comments.
Dear Minister, dear Mr. Mayor, Director General, dear partners, ladies and gentlemen, It is a great honor to be joining you here today for the kickoff event of the innovative and ambitious first Cypriot Research Center on Interactive Media, Smart Systems and Emerging Technologies, RISE. This Center of Excellence, currently under development with significant European funding, is a great success for Cyprus. Aiming to produce excellent and internationally competitive research to improve the country's scientific research profile, RISE is also envisioned to act as a hub across the 3 continents bordering our island, thus enhancing and developing further entrepreneurship and innovation, facilitating the technological, scientific, and economic growth of the region. RISE brings together the Nicosia municipality and the 3 Cypriot public universities, which join forces and cooperate with 2 internationally renowned partners, Max Planck Institute and University College London. We truly expect that through the cooperative actions and synergies that RISE is set to create, entrepreneurs and businesses, and through the close collaboration between scientists, RISE will substantially contribute towards implementing knowledge transfer, sharing of expertise, and diffusion of state-of-the-art solutions and innovation and applications. These elements will cultivate a culture of creativity, as the Mayor said, to spur and support the economic growth, competitiveness, and extroversion of our country. Open University of Cyprus, being a modern and pioneering university that already counts 11 years of fruitful presence in the academic world, could not but support, participate, and get involved enthusiastically with this ambitious project. As the country's only university devoted entirely to open and distance learning, OUC is represented in RISE by Dr. Loizos Michail, Assistant Professor and Head of the Computational Cognition Laboratory, whom along with his team lead one of RISE's 3 research pillars on artificial intelligence and communications. Many congratulations to Loizos. The contribution of the Open University of Cyprus to this flagship center of excellence will be its valuable use of 11 years of experience and expertise in distance learning and the state-of-the-art e-learning platform that it has developed. Thus, OUC will strengthen RISE's key role in distance learning, offering online training programs, and will facilitate the dissemination of RISE's key projects, actions, and results. Moreover, the Open University of Cyprus Liaison Office will support and further strengthen the links and communication between the academia, researchers, and the labor market in all economic sectors. Without further ado, I would again like to take this opportunity to warmly congratulate, on behalf of the academic community of the Open University of Cyprus, the RISE Consortium for their invaluable efforts that led to this exceptional success. We are confident that RISE will be a determinant factor for the scientific and economic development of our city, of our country, and will actively contribute to the state's efforts to establish Cyprus as a regional center for education, research, and innovation. Looking forward to RISE's great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brunzos. At this point, I would like to ask the Mayor of Nicosia and Director General, Mr. Smits, to sign the certificate of the grant to fund RISE. Case. Thank you.
role in generating ideas and knowledge, which in turn contribute to economic and social development. In turn, cities have always been hubs for ideas, commerce, culture, science, productivity, and social development, and a natural bed for innovation. Cities continuously strive to become more inclusive, safer, more resilient, and most importantly, sustainable. In many cases, throughout history and today, the creation and evolution of universities and urban clusters throughout the world have been intimately intertwined. In this broader context, RISE has a unique opportunity and the resources required to mobilize universities and researchers, policymakers, economic actors, citizens, and other civil society stakeholders into a thriving innovation ecosystem on the easternmost frontier of the European Union. In the process, it can become a model for implementing the quadruple helix approach. Most importantly, RISE can play a catalytic role in transforming Nicosia into an innovative society and a flourishing innovation ecosystem, particularly if it succeeds in tapping into the collective intelligence, lay knowledge, and entrepreneurial talents prevalent among its citizens. Without further delay, let me introduce the chair of our panel, the Director General of the European Commission's DG Research and Innovation, Mr. Robert Jan Smits, who will speak first. The head of European Research and Innovation at University College London, Mr. Michael Brown. The Startup and Portfolio Manager at Max Planck Innovation, Max Planck Society, Dr. Florian Kirchenhofer. The Permanent Secretary of Directorate General of European Programs, Coordination and Development of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. George Georgiou. The CEO of the Cyprus Investment Promotion Agency, Ms. Natasha Pilidis. The co-founder of Startup Cyprus and of Student Life, Mr. Yannis Hadjikostandouras. And last but not least, the Chief Operating Officer of Tsinghua University's Science Park, Mr. Herbert Chen. Our panelists will comment on the theme of the panel for a maximum of 5 minutes, and then the floor will be open to your questions. Thank you very much.
I start? All right. It's switched on. You can hear me? Okay. Well, I think RISE is, for me, a very nice example of a trend which hopefully is emerging in Europe, and that is that cities, municipalities take their responsibility in the field of science innovation. And what I see here happening in the Nicosia is a very nice showcase of that, whereby a city says, we have ambitions. We have ambitions to be the place where innovation is happening, where research is taking place. And that's why in this specific project, RISE, it's so, I think, unique, and I mentioned it in my presentation this morning, that a city is leading a very prestigious project in the field of research and innovation. What is also nice is that we see a trend in universities, we call this open science, whereby universities want increasingly to get out of the ivory tower and to be part of the excitement of innovation, where universities want to get rid of this publish or perish fear which is still behind the walls of the university. Universities do not want just to reward their staff based on publications in the impact journals, the high impact journals, but also want to really work for the local economy, want to do knowledge transfer, want to engage with the citizen, want to address the grand societal challenges. And that means that many universities are indeed going back into the city, rediscovering the city, because we have had years, and it's still in many countries the case, where big campuses were built outside the city. But we see now a trend also that universities, in their new role of being closer to the citizen, being closer to the city, want to be in the city. And therefore, RISE again is a very nice example, because it brings together very much this trend which we see happening
in Europe at the moment, whereby cities take their responsibility in the field of innovation, they have agendas, and universities rediscover the city as being contributors to the local environment. Now, it requires quite a cultural change, notably inside universities. If you take, for instance, the reward systems in a university, if you want to make a career inside the university as researcher, you're not rewarded for the work you do for your local municipality. You're not rewarded for the outreach you do to the citizen. You're not rewarded at all for knowledge transfer to industry. You're only rewarded in your career if you publish in high-impact journals. And that's something which needs to change. And we are from the European Commission very keen to work in that shift, this change which is necessary in the university world. So again, the RISE is for me a beautiful example of a trend which I would like to see across Europe, a trend of cities taking the responsibility in partnership with universities to the benefit of the local economy, because that is more than ever before important. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, sure. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Brown. I head up European Research and Innovation at University College London. First of all, I'd just like to say what an honour it is to be here and how delighted we are to be part of this project. It's a very exciting project. Just a little bit briefly about UCL. So we have 4,000 researchers. We're very active in European research and innovation, and I think we've so far been awarded more than 340 Horizon 2020 projects. Having said that, of those numbers of projects, this is certainly one of the most important for us as an organisation, strategically, and in terms of where we want to be going with our global engagement strategy. It's the second of our teaming of projects that we've won under Horizon 2020. So one with Cyprus here today, and another one with Portugal. So we're delighted to be part of these projects, and we see these projects as excellent ways of creating new ways of working and collaborations with organisations and actors in the research and innovation chain. For us, as a university, one thing that we're very keen to push is the concept and philosophy of open innovation, and getting businesses and universities and researchers and entrepreneurs to work together more creatively, in a smarter way, in a more open way. As Robert Jan has said, the driver for universities historically and culturally is very narrow and has been narrow, and it's focused very much on publications and doing research for research's sake. And actually, there is a huge amount of knowledge that's generated in my organisation and across the HEI sector that isn't really being optimised. And I see us as a university, part of our challenge and our duty is to make sure and enable this knowledge to be pushed out and to be exploited, not just locally and regionally and nationally in the UK, but also across Europe and globally. And we see this project as a key enabler for that. Anthony and his department in computer science, but also we would like to see this project being a multiplier effect for other areas of activity beyond technology that we could tap into. And I think this form of collaboration through this project will hopefully enable that to happen, and hopefully we can see future successes beyond the RISE project in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, my name is Florian Kirschhofer from Max Planck Innovation. We are the Technology Transfer Office of the Max Planck Society. Max Planck Society runs more than 80 research institutions, or research centers all over Germany, and some of them even abroad. So we are not centralized. And yeah, I have a more economically view on the topic, because I'm working in the field of technology transfer. I think the interaction between the cities and the research centers are quite important for actually two reasons. First reason is the research centers are paid by the taxpayers, so by the people. So the people must recognize what's going on there. Otherwise, it might be that one day they will, especially in times where cost cutting is a big issue, they also might not be willing to pay so much for the research anymore. So it's in the interest of the research to communicate with the people, and the best place to do so is in the cities. And also the other way around, hopefully As a technology transfer guy, I have to say that there will be some outcome out of the research, and hopefully we can transform that, which we heard today in the morning, also into innovations. And for that, we need the interaction with the rest of society. So research should not be an island or some kind of bubble where they are alone. They're doing something and they're not interacting with the rest of society. Because if you want to bring the research results to innovation, you need the help of many people and not just the researchers. And you need many skills, and the skills are with the people, usually in the cities. So that's why it's a quite clever idea to locate the RISE here in the center, in the heart of the city, that the people recognize it and the people communicate with it. And so I believe this is really a very, very promising concept.
Thank you, George. Thank you, George. I'm George Georgiou. I'm the Permanent Secretary of the Directorate General for European Programs, Coordination and Development, which is the government agency that is responsible for issues of research under the Minister of Finance. Under the same capacity, I also chair the Research Promotion the board of the Research Promotion Foundation, which is the funding agency for research and innovation in Cyprus. Allow me just for a start, just to congratulate all the actors involved for the success of this RISE project, which is a truly remarkable achievement and which will add considerably to the research potential and the growth potential of Nicosia and Cyprus in general. If I just comment a little bit on the issue, talking about cities, cities are basically the engines for growth and competition amongst urban regions to attract visitors, talent, businesses and investment, something which has increased over the years. It is, according to United Nations sort of data, 54% of the world population lives in urban centers. So urban centers are the core of economic activity and should be viewed as a base, as a core potential also for growth. At the same time, universities play a pivotal role in innovation, research and innovation, and they act as powerhouses for ideas and intellectual exploration. This blend of universities and the city, which comes under the RISE program, for example, creates a research and research infrastructure which has multiple effects in all sectors and the daily life of citizens. Involvement of all stakeholders, academia, business, public authorities, and local people at the same time, ensures collective commitment, which can give tangible benefits to local society. This quadruple helix, which George also mentioned, is quite important in transforming ideas into action which has an effect on the economy but also on the local population. And this is quite important. This is quite an achievement that the RISE sort of initiative is progressing in Nicosia. Just to add two more dimensions, the fact that RISE and all this action is centered in the historic part of Nicosia, in the old town of Nicosia, which will act again as a stepping stone for the rejuvenation of the whole area, and at the same time that it is basically in the buffer zone, which will allow additional connectivity and by communal action if and when this is possible. So just all these issues. Thank you, George. Natasha?
Good afternoon, everybody. I represent the Cyprus Investment Promotion Agency, which is a government-funded organization which promotes investment. And I have to say that even in the time that I've been at the organization, which is coming up to 2 years, the importance of innovation as a sector that we promote and pay attention to has risen greatly from being, somewhere in the sort of mid-tier of our priorities to top priority, and probably by far the busiest sector in terms of stuff that we've got to do, which certain colleagues sitting over there can probably appreciate. I remember a couple of years ago when Yorgos Chrysanthou gave me a call, and I didn't know him then, and he said, oh, I want to talk to you about this exciting project that we're doing. And I remember even without all of this stuff happening, all of the infrastructure and all of the funds coming in and all of the wonderful news, how wonderfully captivating the idea sounded, even as an idea. And the passion with which the people who actually went ahead with it, I think, and I feel very strongly about this, was so key to developing it into something special. And so I want to congratulate on behalf of my organization as well. So in terms of cities and how cities grow and innovate, I think what Mr. Georgiou mentioned is absolutely key, that cities don't innovate by themselves. They are not the innovation, but they are the agents that will help the inhabitants of the city to do special things like this one. And so the fact that this is happening in the historical center of town is hugely important, because it's allowing our city to be part of this impetus, to be part of the innovation, and to truly move to the next level of becoming, of integrating all the wonderful things that are happening in academia with the actual people living in this town, with the people working here, with the startups that have really risen in number and in quality since a couple of years back. So this is a very exciting project for us. It's one that we've supported from the outset, and I cannot stress enough how passionate we are about continuing our support, both in terms of promoting it in every way that we can, but also in terms of providing our day-to-day support in everything that may be needed. Thank you.
Yannis? Hello, I'm Yannis Hagigos-Tandouras. I currently represent Startup Cyprus. Startup Cyprus is the legal entity that basically represents the startup community in Cyprus. It was founded 5 years ago by 13 founders, startup members and people from the ecosystem. And we have one main goal, to support initiatives, to work on initiatives that can develop the startup ecosystem in Cyprus. And obviously, our goals are totally aligned with RISE, and we are very happy and excited to be part of this. One of the main pillars of Startup Cyprus strategy is to work on initiatives that can bring both communities together, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, under the umbrella of entrepreneurship, to work together, to collaborate. And I believe it can be an example of how this country should move forward. Under this pillar, we have organized with the Embassy of Finland Startups for Peace, which is a competition that invited entrepreneurs from both sides to get together, work together, and collaborate on new ideas. And as we speak, the 2 winning teams has now visited Slash, one of the biggest startup events in Finland. And the team has prepared a video that we can now see, I believe. We have the video? Yes.
Startups for Peace is an amazing mini competition. Well, actually, it's a competition, full competition and mini acceleration program. And our idea and the vision is to bring people from both communities in Cyprus, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, to work on their startup.
Startups for Peace is really important because you cannot have peace without cooperation. Well, first of all, we want to bring people together. We've thought that we would like to find some new ways to support to solve the Cyprus problem, and we have been doing it in different ways earlier.
Well, Startups for Peace is a great initiative. It's great to see team members from both communities in startups.
Some people call Slush Burning Man meets TED, and there's a lot of different descriptions, but I mean, Slush is really what you make of it.
And how to make most of it is first of all planning.
So, also just to comment on the subject of the discussion, I would say, based on my experience running my company since 2012, I think cities and academic institutions can help in 3 ways, based on the experience that I have gained the past 5 years. Firstly, they can help young entrepreneurs do the first step by offering them know-how, funding, technologies that it's difficult for us to reach. So under RISE and examples like this, it will be much easier for younger generation to do the first step. As a second pillar, I think now in Cyprus we see a lot of small initiatives around startups and entrepreneurship, and I think cities and examples like RISE can bring all these initiatives under the same roof. The impact will be much higher if we can all together collaborate, and that's why as Startup Cyprus we are here today. And finally, I think the biggest problem that our youth now faces is the gap between universities and the job market. And cities and academic institutions can help in bridging this gap by working on innovative projects that can keep the Cypriot talent here and attract Cypriots to come back. Because that's the only way to have our youth and our talent here, and hopefully we can see this happening through RISE. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yannick. Herbert? Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Herbert Chen. I'm coming from Beijing, China, very famous university over there, Tsinghua University. Personally, I'm running a bigger science park about 17 years. I'm so happy to be here. And first of all, I want to say congratulations for the project of RISE. I think the key word here, research, innovation, and growth, is not only the key word here, but it's also the key word in Beijing and in China, I think in all over the world. So the China is a very, how can I say, people saying it's a very hot country now. We have a continually 30 years economy growth. We have a very big GDP, number 2 in the world. But actually, if you visit China, not only in a big city, you will see that in China, we're also facing a lot of challenge. We still have 18 million people living in the low standard condition. We have a lot of high technology companies like Huawei, like Xiaomi, but all this company, we put 1,000 high technology company together in China, the total output may be less than one company, April, the United States company. So China still consumes a lot of natural resource to get a higher GDP, not from the high technology company, not come from the high position of the production chain. So that is a very serious problem all the Chinese people and the government are facing. So we are keen, working very hard to transfer from made in China to create in China. I think that is the very important way for the future of Chinese people. So you're talking about made in China to create in China. The create in China means a lot of inventions, a lot of innovations, a lot of technology transfer and commercializations. And those happens only when you have a good ecosystem. So the overall ecosystem is very important from made in China to create in China. Yes, come back to this topic. If we talk about the ecosystem and then the cities and the universities will play so important a role on the total ecosystem. For instance, for the cities, you have to pay attention on the hardware, the hard factors, that means the infrastructure. You should pay attention on the transportation, airport, communications, Wi-Fi connections. Those is the hardware. But more importantly, for the city, you have to pay attention on the softer factors. That means, what is the strategy for the innovation city by the next 5 or 10 years? What is the whole picture? We have to pay attention on that. And also, what is the exactly step you have to make? For instance, in China, in Beijing, the government is running a huge science park, 400 square kilometers science park running in China. So many high technology companies are working, roots up in this science park. And also the government pay a lot of attention on how to attract the people coming from all over the world to come to work in Beijing. You know, Silicon Valley have a 60% the people come from overseas. But in Beijing, unfortunately, we have only 4% the people come from overseas. It's more local people. We have to change this situation to make the city more innovative, to contribute to the ecosystem. From the university as well, everybody knows university have 2 main functions, research and education. But in China, we put another function to the university as a service and a supporting to the society. So the research, we do a lot of applied research. For the education, we open the course for the student to tell them how to create a new business. And the people talking this in the stage is not only the professors, but also the CEOs, the successful CEO and the failure CEOs. They come to the class to talk with the students. For service to the society, the university create a university science park. That is where I come from. Tsinghua University have a bigger science park. It's about 700,000 square meters. I think almost the biggest in the world. We have more than 1,000 companies working in the science park. We generate a lot of IP in the science park, transfer a lot of science research results from the university to the commercial side. We already run this science park for more than 20 years, and more than 6,000 companies go through our incubators. More than 40 of them becomes very big business, public company in China. I think I can talk another 1 hour, and this is limited time. So once again, congratulations, and I'm so happy to be here, to hear, to learn, to see what happened in Cyprus. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Herbert. And thank you to all our panelists for their comments. Now, audience, the floor is yours. We would welcome your questions. You can address them in general, and each of our panel members can take the lead in answering them. I don't want to destroy your equipment here.
I would like to ask a question for Mr. Chen. Do all these companies come out of the university, and how do you encourage that? I mean, it's a lot of companies to come from a university.
Yes, because we understand if you want to transfer the technology from academy, university, to the commercial side, there's a main driving force is the company. Because the company want to make money. Now, how can they make money? They have to produce something new. How can they produce something new? They have to do something the other people cannot. That is the research result from the paper to the product. So Chinese government and the university encourage the people, professors, doctors, students, to start up their company, even when they still study in the university. So we have 14 departments from Tsinghua University jointly set up X Lab, which is in our science park. So the student, when you have the idea, you want to start your own business, you can go to the X Lab. And the X Lab will give you a whole lot of training, the ideas, and also mentors, and even the financial support for you start your business. So I think the startup company is the future for China. So we pay a lot of attention on it.
My name is George Millis. I represent a small company, let's say what we call a research and innovation company in Cyprus. So the question is addressed to all the panelists. I know the answer to my question has been in the videos and in the talks somewhere, but I want to give emphasis on this. So how do you see RISE benefiting and giving benefit to small companies in Cyprus? For instance, we are striving to create innovation, but innovation we have to think big and look outside Cyprus. Cyprus is a very small market, but in order to do that, we need resources, and sometimes it's very difficult to survive through this process. And I think these big things like RISE can be the vehicle for us to go and to achieve our goals. So in more practical terms, how do you see this happening in Cyprus with the existing small companies that we have? We have 90-something% of actually not even medium enterprises. Thank you very much.
If I can just briefly comment, I mean, we anticipate, we envisage, or we hope that RISE will act as a hub where research and ideas are created, and at the same time, it manages to link these ideas into someone who is going to put them into practice. RISE and the whole event cannot by itself just change the scene as far as research and innovation is concerned. There have to be other actions, and I suppose that rests a lot with the government as well. I mean, there have to be new financial instruments devised so that the funding can come in. It's not only up to the entrepreneurs to get interested, but at the same time to understand what the potential is of the research that is presented to them, to understand what the potential is of the market, and at the same time get the support that is needed to put it into practice. So it's a whole ecosystem. RISE is part, and it's a fundamental part of that ecosystem, but it cannot by itself solve the problem.
Thank you very much.
Can I just say a couple of words on that, if I may? So I see for us at UCL, so my advice to you and to the Cypriot-based SMEs, that the concept of collaboration and open innovation. So I would see the centre as a way, as an entry point for SMEs to profile themselves, to get connected to other organisations internationally, across Europe, globally, with organisations like myself at UCL, Max Planck and others. And that's the key, really. So I think it's very difficult for SMEs at regional level, local level. The challenge is profiling and being and sort of opening up showcasing their capabilities. And I think there's a win-win here for organisations internationally, like Max Planck and UCL, for example, by collaborating with these SMEs who have specific expertise and capabilities to work together and collaborate. So the 2 words or 3 words I'd use was collaboration and open innovation, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I think this is probably very... the comment which was just made, the question we just asked, is very much at the same time an indicator of the success of RISE. I mean, if after 5 to 6 years we see very clearly that small startups are using RISE, are coming here, being present in this building, it's an indicator that they have trust in the ecosystem which has been created. So I think the indicator for the success of RISE will be, for me, very much, are we seeing a lot of entrepreneurs, startups coming here, collaborating, working with international partners? That will be the indicator. If this only is a place for either university professors to walk around or for people from the local municipality, then of course this is not a success. There has to be an ecosystem, as was mentioned, but the ecosystem can only be driven by the availability and the presence of very dynamic young entrepreneurs, startups who have confidence that this is the place to be, that they can roll out their new technologies here, that they can do their thing here. And that is, I think, in the most important challenge of RISE, is to create that culture, that feeling, the dynamics, which makes people think, I need to be there. I can't miss out on this. I need to be part of this excitement. And that's a big challenge.
I couldn't agree more with everything that was said. I think that one of the problems that we face as an ecosystem, and particularly as Invest Cyprus, is that a lot of the things that we do are very fragmented. I think Startup Cyprus has contributed a lot to changing this, but you're absolutely right that the idea of bringing everyone under one umbrella is one of the major advantages of this. We do a lot of initiatives like Startups for Peace, which we supported, but many other things where we try and take startups with us to many international conferences that we go to try and give them exposure, or to offer other ways of supporting them to find funding. But we don't have access to everyone. We don't know where everyone is, and we're a very small market, but it's still quite fragmented. So we really hope that this is going to be the success of RISE, that everyone is going to have this common platform where we can communicate and meet and collaborate, so that things that are available are known to the whole community.
Yeah, I think there are even four ways in having advantages of RISE for small companies. One is the network effect, which was described by most of you very nicely, or very good, in a very good manner. The next one is you can cooperate, like you heard. You can use the research results, and you have the advantage that you are very close to the researchers, so this gives you the advantage that you might be the first one who sees these new innovative technologies, which you can maybe commercialize in your company. And the last one is a research center is also a customer. So a research center also needs good, which is buying from outside. And so it's not too bad to be close to the research center to be the organization or the firm who's delivering. So I think there are many ways in advantages which SMEs can take out of the situation here.
A quick question. I'm very worried now after I listened to our esteemed friend and guest from China. One of the logics we use in order to start the creative industry is that a lot of industrial jobs are moving to the east. We in Europe are still thinking of China as a make it in China idea. And China is thinking itself to try to change from make it in China to create in China. And I'm seriously worried because China is one unified, very efficient country when it puts its mind to it under one political system. And we are many without one specific leading head for that particular sector. Do you propose any changes in the way we proceed in the European Union?
You have a couple of hours. I think it's just amazing what is happening in China. And it's just extremely impressive how this country has been able to get itself organized, and indeed has been moving from made in China to create in China. The big challenge, as you rightly say, for China is notably the basic science, the new ideas. The innovation part, working on existing ideas is not your issue, but your problem is to come up with the basic science, the complete new ideas, which then lead to new markets, disruptive innovation, market-creating innovation. The approach, of course, in China is completely different than from Europe. You have a very centrally top-down governed economy, a very strong top-down leadership, which sets targets for many years. And in Europe, we work much more because of our culture in a bottom-up way. And I think we can't say there's a silver bullet. We can't say that that system is much better than the European system. These are different approaches to innovation. We have in Europe, thank God, an internal market, which allows many of the breakthroughs which we have to have scale and scope. We have an enormous amount of creative talents and a highly skilled labor force and brilliant young people. If you look at our universities, they are present very much in the top 200. If you look at some of our companies, be it in the aeronautics field or be it in the foods or pharma, I mean, they are top-notch and leading. There's an enormous startup scene in different cities in Europe. Take Berlin. Berlin was the country, the city, which has the highest level of venture capital last year, more than the American cities. So it's quite amazing how a city like Berlin suddenly becomes a hub for innovation, for entrepreneurship. So the European model is not the Chinese model. The European model is bottom-up, is diversity, creativity, highly skilled labor force, good schools, good universities. But where we need to do much more, and that's why I think RISE is so much an example, is the cooperation between our academia and our industry. That remains in Europe the big bottleneck. We have been very good always in turning euros into knowledge, but not very good in turning knowledge back into euros. And that is something on which we need to do much more. Because many of the inventions which were made in Europe were not rolled out in Europe. If you look Skype, invention in Estonia, commercialized in the United States. Booking.com, invention in the Netherlands, again, rolled out in the United States. So we also need to work on our ecosystem, have stronger venture capital landscape, so that also many of the startups, many of the groundbreaking disruptive innovations can be rolled out in Europe. So yes, Mr. Mayor, we have work to do, and what I'm very proud of, that Horizon 2020, which is the European Programme for Science and Innovation, the biggest program for science and innovation in the world, but still only 8% of the EU budget, is bringing together the best brain innovators and brains from all over Europe. And we have here now, in your city, a beautiful example where, with your leadership, your universities here in Cyprus, you bring together University College London, Max Planck, the symbols of science and innovation in a collaborative way, made possible by the European Union. And I think that's our role. Create this ecosystem, bring partners together from academia and industry, so that indeed we can continue to play the role as innovation leaders, which we have been for many years. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question on the right.
Thank you. I'd like to follow up the Mayor's question, but from the opposite direction. Not what can the EU do, but from the bottom up about. So are research centres and universities important? Yes, they are. And it will take years before RISE can be world-class in all its research. So the question is, how can it, what does it ask from its partners to help it accelerate on that journey? And it's also true that cities are important because they bring people together. But in China, a city is over 8 million people. Nicosia is not a city. When viewed in that scale, it cannot deliver all the entrepreneurial support with repeat entrepreneurs, all the investment, all the advisories. So again, how does RISE, what does it ask for? What do the people of Nicosia want RISE to ask for from its partners so that Nicosia can become part of and better embedded in a European ecosystem? So it's not can Nicosia be everything that it needs for itself, but how can it tap into the European expertise through UCL and Max Planck and others, so that it brings those assets, those skills, those resources here for its benefit. So I think it's from RISE out, it's not from the EU down. That is the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. I would like to make a question. I would like to address a question to Robert Diaz. The RISE project and also KIOS project is a reality because the Commission has launched a call that's a combination of an excellence policy and the policy to support the low-performing member states. And my question is mainly related to the next program. What are the plans of the ideas of the Commission about this combination of policies in the next framework program? If I may add another point on my question, I would like to ask Georgiou about the support that the Cyprus government can give to such initiatives, and to the two colleagues coming from Germany and United Kingdom. We usually face, I would say, a more negative, less support from the big countries on this kind of policies. What are your thoughts about that, coming from universities and not from the government representatives?
Who can start from the policy side?
Okay, I'll start from the policy side. Well, in Horizon 2020, and you mentioned already, we have dedicated measures called the widening measures of spreading excellence. And teaming, what we are celebrating today, is an example of that. When I look at the projects, when I look at the other activities we have the ERA chairs and the twinning, I'm a very strong supporter of these measures, and I wanted them continued under the next framework program. So if it's up to me, I will work that these type of measures are being continued in a ring-fenced way, because I think it's important we have a dedicated widening package inside the next framework program. Now, the big challenge for us is to have the synergies with the structural funds. There are billions available for the lesser developed parts of Europe to build up their economy and to modernize. And in the past, these billions only went to railways, to roads, and to bridges, and an opera building. But now, increasingly, they're being used to build a knowledge economy. And I think there's a beautiful synergy emerging between the structural funds and Horizon 2020, because I see very much Horizon 2020 based on excellence, selecting the best of the best. That RISE is chosen and other projects are chosen has nothing to do with the geographical location. We don't do geographical criteria. We select based on excellence. At the same time, we don't have enough money in Horizon 2020, and that the structural funds can come in. The structural funds can come in to provide all the support which is necessary, the hardware, the training, the brick and mortar, the equipment to make projects like this a success. So I would like to see much more a synergy between the structural funds and Horizon 2020, whereby the excellence is identified and selected through Horizon, but that there's a lot of money coming from the structural funds for support. We are at the moment in a very fortunate situation that under the current structural funds, out of the 300 billion, already some 60 billion is going to capacity building in the field of research innovation. So there's a very strong trend to deploy the structural funds much more in the field of science innovation, and combined with our policy of spotting where the excellence is in Europe, I think it's a beautiful marriage, and that is something which I would like to see that we do much more under the next programming period, under the next budget of the European Union. But again, that requires also that this is put on the political agenda, this topic, and that depends a lot on, of course, the member states, the European Parliament, that this is really something which they consider to be important. And I'm a keen advocate of that, and I know also with Yorgos we discuss a lot, he's also a very strong supporter of that, this beautiful link between excellence on the Horizon 2020 and capacity building, regional development under the structural funds. So you can count on me to work on that for the next framework program.
Well, I'd like to what Robert was saying, that we are committed towards excellence as well, and we are committed to engaging quite a large sum of structural funds that Cyprus is getting towards research and innovation. In actual fact, it's about 100 million being channeled into research and innovation out of 800 million that Cyprus is getting for structural funds, which is quite a big chunk. At the same time, I should highlight the fact that at least the experience up to today, with 80%, with around 80 million coming into Cyprus from competitive funds from Horizon 2020 up to now, we anticipate that by the end of the period, we might be able to get enough money to be almost around 25%, a quarter of what we get from structural funds, we might be able to get from competitive funding, which is quite a big chunk for Cyprus. I won't quote what the Rector of the University of Cyprus said that we are first, but we are quite successful in that field. As far as the government commitment is concerned, especially as follow-up to the widening participation sort of process, is yes, there is full commitment to support any successful actions that go through the process. So there is firm government commitment on this issue. But again, I want to highlight the need and for the continuation of this approach by the Commission to enhance the capacity of countries that are lagging behind in research capacity. So this widening participation is a very well received initiative, and we would like it to see it continue into the future. This cohesion part of research should be based completely on excellence, but the cohesion part of the whole attempt should not be downgraded.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So just a couple of comments from my side. So when the widening participation program was launched and the teaming and twinning initiatives were originally launched, I spoke to some counterparts in the UK and across Europe, and some of them were a little bit sceptical about the scheme. And if I'm honest, I think many of them misunderstood what it was all about and what its main drivers are. I think, you know, it's, as I mentioned earlier on about UCL, so of the 340 projects that we have, only 2 we have that have been funded under teaming. And these are very important, very prestigious projects for the reasons that I mentioned earlier on. And the reasons why these have worked, and I believe will work in implementation and post-implementation of the project, is because we're linking in with organisations and regions that are optimising and leveraging their smart specialisation and their real strengths. So these are the reasons why these projects are funded. One of the main reasons is because it's tapping into excellence at local and regional levels. And a key ingredient for that is support, significant support, not just at the researcher level, but also at the, I guess, the political level as well. And that's something that is very obvious here in Cyprus, and key credit to the mayor and colleagues here today. And for us, that combination of the political support with tapping into smart specialisation, which is effectively the excellence pockets within those regions, and then building bridges with organisations like UCL, it's a win-win. But I think where I think some people have maybe misunderstood the scheme is that you don't approach it as a blanket policy like we go in for many of these projects. It's actually you have to focus and say actually which region do we have an existing collaboration with? Are they excellent? Is there political support? How can we both win from these types of collaborations? And that's something that I believe RISE will enable here in Cyprus.
Words of wisdom from Germany?
I don't know if it's really words of wisdom, but and I don't want to go too deep into politics because I'm not into politics. I'm here as a representative of Max Planck, and Max Planck is a very special research organization. It's just doing really basic research, and the whole organization is really driven by the researchers themselves. So it is, like you said, that they have the feeling that there is a win-win situation which is created. So we hope also participate in the other way, that we can build up something here. And nowadays research is usually not done as a bubble in one institution. Usually you cooperate with others. And we as in Technology Transfer Office, we see that at the most inventions nowadays, we have inventions together with organizations from all over the world. So, and I think from our researchers' perspective, it is great that here something is built up where people want to do excellent research and they can be partners. This is the important, I think, the important part for our researchers, that you will create an excellent level of research here, also with the chance to innovate it to the markets. Also, if this is maybe not that important for our research, it's more important for me as a technology transfer guy.
Thank you. We have time for one last question.
Okay, thank you. I had a quick question. This experiment that we're trying here with Rice and Nicosia, is there another city that would be a close enough example because of its maybe size, because of the initiative that we could look at and see that it was successful there? And then what are some of the lessons from that example that we could use here in Nicosia?
Maybe one city, also if they have a very long history of their university, but they're also not too big, is Tübingen in Germany. There we have a very old university, we have Max Planck Institutes there, and they created a really innovative network now, or at the moment they're creating this network. What I think, what is really important to understand is that this is more like a long-term investment. It takes time. You cannot expect that you will have, I don't know, 10 startups next year out of the research results. This is not realistic. You must give time to the thing. It must grow. And you can't expect short-term premium results. This is not how basic research works.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank you. Many say that innovation flourishes in the wider context outside universities, and many of you have mentioned it. How mature is the local society, or how receptive do you think will prove to be local society, the citizens of Nicosia, to mobilize for the purposes of RISE? I strongly believe myself that the citizens and the users are very, they have a kind of lay knowledge in themselves and intuition and intelligence that can also be very instrumental in achieving the innovation purposes. Who could give some ideas about this? I would love to know.
Could we impose on the mayor to take on that challenge? The citizens of the city, how excited are the citizens of Nicosia about the prospects of RISE?
I cannot speak for the 240,000 citizens of the extended area, the larger area of urban Nicosia. What I do know, though, from examples that I have been part of or I have attended to, like the startup Cyprus, like for Peace, like other startups, like the Stelios Hagioannou project, like the projects that Natasha is involved with, there is, and I dare say since the economic crisis, a lot more momentum and willingness and hunger, if maybe the right word, to innovate and create something of one's own. So I think RISE will be extremely welcomed in trying to bridge this hunger with the plethora of knowledge that exists in Nicosia, because it has 3 institutes and 5 universities. So I think everything is there, the mix is there, and we are certain of we hope and we're certain of the result. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before we close, I want to give a last word to the chair of our panel.
To me?
Yes.
I think it's been an extremely impressive morning, and the fact that the President was here of the Republic and so many other high-level people shows that this project is seen as a game changer. It's seen as a unique way of doing things, where, as I mentioned already in my presentation, a municipality, a city, is a driving force for innovation, where knowledge centers, the best of Europe, join forces, where the city is rediscovered by universities, where hopefully a lot of the innovation ideas will come through the citizens, the demand side, And it's not just a place where the people from the universities get together, but that really there's an interaction with society. So what I've seen here is very impressive. It's a showcase, it's an example, and can be an example for many, many other cities in Europe. I'm very optimistic if I talk to the people here and if I feel the dynamics. But as always, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and the devil is always not in the detail, but in the implementation. And that's why there's an enormous, I think, now work to be done by the consortium to make this work. Because this is a project that just cannot fail. It's a showcase and should remain a showcase. But I have confidence in the consortium, I have confidence in the leadership of the people involved, and I look forward indeed to coming back in a couple of years. I won't wait for 20 years, as was suggested, but I'll come back a bit earlier to see indeed a very dynamic ecosystem which has been developed.
Thank you very much. Please join me in thanking our panel for their words of wisdom. And also wishing RISE the best of success, the sooner the better, for the benefit of Nicosia and the European Union. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you.